Yeah, well, you know, the pool's looking pretty good, doesn't it? Doesn't it look pretty good? Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you the secret. You think it's full of water? No. Oh, heck no. This thing's full of money, man. All I do is put money in this thing. I'm telling you, look, I'm going to build a time machine one of these days, and I'm going to go back 22 years when I had this thing put in. And you know what? All those, oh yeah, it's going to be great. We got to pull all the party and the fancy and all that crap. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy a boat instead. And I know you all have heard this before in a video, and I'm not saying this for the new people. I'm saying it for you people that have already heard this because I just want to annoy you a little bit. Instead of having the pool put in, I'm going to buy a boat. Yeah, I'm going to buy a boat. You know why? Because I can sell the boat. Anyway, I get about a mile away from the house, and this happens. I thought I had baling wire wrapped up into the sprocket there. It's just what it sounded like, and as I looked back, I saw no baling wire. Instead, I realized that I had an abrupt blowout. I mean, by the time I could even turn around to start heading home, I was already on a flat. And then it got bound up into the fender, and I couldn't even get the rear wheel to roll that well. So at that point, I decided that I had no choice but to walk home. So I put the bike on the kickstand, left it on the side of the road, and about 45 minutes it took me to go home, get my truck, and go back and get it. And I just thought to myself, hey, you know what? If God wants me to retain this bike, it will still be there. Apparently, God's looking favorably upon the Wired Freedom. All right, my compadres, here's what we're going with. Right here. See, I read the comments. Everybody's screaming, flat out, flat out. Okay, well, there's the flat out. I'm going to try that instead of slime on this go-round. Obviously, we're going to be doing new tires, Ultraverse. These I've picked because, again, if you saw that video, well, of course you didn't see it because nobody watched my 500-mile review video on the Wired Freedom, but I said in that video that I wanted a smoother, tighter running tire, and I think these fit the bill. And what I like about these lugs is they're big, which adds thickness to the overall outside of the tire in the areas where we've got contact patch. And, you know, to boot, came with these balloon animals. You know, these tubes probably suck, but we're going to go ahead and put 2 fresh tubes in it as well. But probably one of the bigger things I want to show you is, again, I listen to you folks. Yes, we are going to try the pain in the ass Tannus Armour. Wow, there it is. Probably 3/4 of an inch total split. Look at that. Oh my gosh. All right, my friends, you know, forget that fast motion thing. When I started wrestling with these tires, I was like, no, this camera's coming off. So got it done. And let's go for a ride, see how it feels, and let's talk about what I think, okay? All right, guys, got a little quirks we worked out here. And it started out with a test ride of the tire would start popping out of the rim in a few places. And I think the reason that is because in the shop or the garage, whatever, I use a compressor, right? I use a compressor, and I think that it just causes a little, I don't know, somehow it gets unequal and pushes the side of the tire out. So let all the tires out, or let all the air out of the tires and gently pump them up using just one of those little battery powered hand pumps, and that seems to have helped everything seat. If you look, there's still a little bit of wobbliness in that front tire. I don't know if you can see it, but I think the other ones had a little bit of that too. Now, it doesn't really translate to the bars. The back looks actually pretty true to me. So the front's just a little wobbly. So I'm thinking what I could do is just let out some air and then just do a little spin, and maybe it'll just seat a little cleaner. But as far as the ride, it's quieter. And you know, who's ever known to complain about a new set of treads, right? I mean, new tires are always a cool thing. I don't care what you're on, new tires just rock, right? So can I recommend them? Yeah, so far. Now let's revisit. Let's revisit my little tirade about the Tannus Armour. Yeah, actually, at the time I was pretty heated because, you know, I kind of thought the whole process was just kind of too tight and ridiculous. But clearly I got through it. Would I do it again? I'll be honest with you, I don't know. And here's why. Here's my bone of contention. Part of me thinks that if I'm out in the wild, it will be a lot easier if I run without the Tannus and just carry a couple of tubes and a compressor, you know, versus well, not really versus, but I'm just saying I think it'd be easier to repair the tire without the Tannus Armour in it. Because I think the Tannus Armour, I mean, unless it does a heck of a job, and from what I've seen, they are not 100%. I could see myself ripping that, you know, Tannus Armour out somewhere on the trail and saying, screw it, throw a tube in and just ride on back. So, I mean, I don't know. This is one of these things where time's going to tell. I also know one thing. Going back to these tires themselves, what are these called? Ultimas or something like that? Going back to these tires, let me tell you something else. They are much heavier. Yeah, they're a heavier tire. They are definitely not as pliable as the ones that came with, you know, what are those Kendas that came on the wired down? Part of that could be because they've got a few miles on them, so let's not discount that. But these just, I mean, these are pretty tight, and wrestling with the Tannus and then trying to get the tube in there, it definitely revealed itself. And I'm hoping that because this is a little bit thicker tire, not as pliable, in addition to the Tannus Armour, that you know, we might have a good combination where we can, you know, actually go out and ride without our cell phone. Whoa, like I'm doing now, you know, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on here, guys. I've got another ride planned, and we're actually going to go out and test these tires out in some loose terra firma, maybe terra not so firma. Let's see how they do. Hey, thanks for looking in. This is, well, you know the deal is you're watching Ruger's Last Resort, and you got a day like this going out, some t-shirt weather, man. Why don't you step outside for a little bit, even if it's 20 minutes, just do it, okay? Till next time, guys, it'll probably be soon. Hey, we'll catch you.